Hey everyone, I'm not sure quite what happened there, but we lost our connection with Marie-Josée, and hopefully she'll just be signing in once again in the meantime. So this is a curtain call, and we're speaking with Marie-Josée Lefebvre. She's an actor, a playwright, a teacher, a mother, an activist, and we're speaking about a project that she has. I'm not quite sure if she's joining us now. Hello. I don't know what happened,
I don't know. It just
but
said, okay,
I
bye,
know.
you're
Me
done.
too. But let's continue. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's because that's really amazing. Do you notice like a big difference between the type of work that's being produced in French Canada as opposed to English Canada? Because I'm familiar with the Toronto theater scene, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just tell us about being a part of both of those worlds.
Um, look, I would say aside from the French plays that I wrote and produced and was in at the different festivals here, I was mostly when I acted as a professional actor in Toronto was mostly part of English productions. But
Okay.
I don't know, there was a period where they just all there was a period where I don't know there was many plays about the Quebec referendum and about I don't know there was like so I was lucky for a while to get offered these parts where I was maybe the French chick
Right. You're
in
getting a
the
little
English
typecast.
productions. Yeah, so it was great. So I guess being French in Toronto, there's the advantage of, well, when they need a French person, but then there's the disadvantage that they often don't need a French person. And for some reason, I could never get rid of my accent.
Oh,
You
it
know, I
sounds
can't.
pretty. Yeah, you can't but
Yeah,
that's part
but
of who you
if
are. Maybe you don't want to.
say that again,
It's
sorry.
part of who you are. It's part of who you are. I find
It
accents
is. It
very
is.
difficult. Yeah, to to
And
to do and to
I
read.
think it's the accent thing I would say is way more cherished and loved and accepted now than it was like when I came out of acting school,
Mhm.
oh, so many years ago. You know, I remember going to see, I'm not going to say who, but a prominent agent, actor's agent in Toronto who looked at my picture my 8 by 10 and my name, Marie-Josée Lefebvre. And he just said, you're going to have to change your name. Like, you need to be more English. And he just kind of looked at my picture and my name and he said, Mary Jane Feber. And I thought,
You're like,
oh
no.
no, no, I can't do that. Like at first it was like it would make my parents so sad. It would make my people so like, and also I don't want to be called Mary Jane Fever, but that
Yeah.
was a bit the attitude was like, if you want to make it in Toronto as an actor, like you gotta fit in. You gotta be sort of Anglo like the rest of them. And that went, I was French, but or I think many other ethnicities and nationalities had and still have a hard time to work as
Mhm.
consistently as paid
Yeah.
actors in
Yeah.
Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you maybe tell us about your journey, how your journey took you? Actually, before we get into, because I want to hear about your life as a teacher as well. But can you tell me about,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that you worked on a screenplay and that you were sort of in talks to get it made, that was telling the stories of women in a particular aspect, and that it didn't get made. And tell us a little bit about that story and sort of what that was like.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be fun if Lucy, I should have told her to join. So
Mhm.
Lucy Paget, who's a great screenwriter from Toronto, good friend. We developed it was her initial idea. She said, MJ, do you want to um, work on writing a TV series with me? I want it to be about strippers in a strip bar on a road, one of those in the middle of nowhere, truckers, long road up north,
Yeah.
northern Ontario. And so like a strip bar where all the truckers stop in, but it's about the strippers. So it's the strippers' stories up there. And we wrote the Bible, and it was great. We had such a good time developing the characters, their stories, etc., etc. We had a producer from Ottawa, and it was French. It's like every time I
Amazing.
write, most often when I write shows, they're up north, so they're French, but they're kind of franglais, with some English, like the
Yeah.
reality from up there.
Hmm.
So we worked on this. We had the producer who was really excited, gung ho, and we had the broadcaster. I don't know if I should mention names. Maybe I shouldn't, but anyway, it was a broadcaster here in Toronto who picked it up. And it was like, okay, and we got the financing from Telefilm and everyone
Mm.
to write the 3 first episodes. And the title of the series was Les Pitounes de la 18. So pitoun in French is a slang word, and I was actually trying to think of the English equivalent this morning in case we talked about it. And I don't know if there's quite one, but it's sort of like, sort of dirty women, like,
Right.
not the classiest women. And so les pitons de la 18 was the road, the
Mhm.
road the bar's on. And so the broadcaster picked it up. We're writing the episodes, and great episodes, really fun. And then at the end of the 3rd episode, we write, suddenly the broadcaster's like, oh no, that's like way too racy. Like we can't like the content, the viewers, it's going to disturb them. It's and so they dropped it. And
There's such an
uh,
irony there, just because, which is something that you mentioned in your biography, is that strippers like form the backdrop of so many television shows where the men are the
it
center of the
made
television show. Like I think of The Sopranos, where most of the show takes place in the strip club with women stripping in the
yeah,
background. And then it's like
yeah,
if you have the women, if you're telling the stories of the women, suddenly it's
yeah.
too much. Yeah.
No, and it really reveals a lot about our society, and it reveals a lot about broadcasters. I mean, wanting to get ratings and make money and not maybe really tell the stories. Because yes, I felt the same way, and I think at the time we were writing this, there was a show in Montreal with bikers. I can't remember, but
Mhm.
really popular TV series. And the same thing as The Sopranos, always in a strip bar, always the naked girl dancing in the background. But as soon as we wanted to tell the stories of those girls, and maybe those stories were not so pretty and maybe would not make you feel so much like going to a strip bar anymore.
Yeah.
Um, it was, as a woman, as a feminist like we are, it was really frustrating.
Yeah, and like
And I guess I still hope, a little part of me, and I talk to Lucie about it sometimes, but I mean that whole Bible, those episodes, that's all there. And
yeah,
if any smart, cool broadcaster is listening, it's a good show.
because yeah, it's like things are slowly moving in that direction, and those stories are being told more. And so it's like
Yeah,
maybe it's a question of timing. Maybe you were ahead of your time,
maybe.
unfortunately.
I, I guess I should have waited for the Me
And
Too
it's and
movement.
it's still and you still have it, so you never know. But tell us about your
Yeah,
project now, because you're also a teacher, and
I
you're
am.
about to embark on this amazing journey. So can you
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about the generation of that idea and where it came from with your students?
Yeah. Well, Ciara, I think, is here listening. I don't know if there's more of you guys listening, my gang from this year, my students. So I was actually propelled. I haven't been a teacher for very long because I've been an artist and an actor and a teacher, and
Mhm.
but suddenly I became a single mom, and the insecurity, financial insecurity of that single mom artist. Also, the world isn't quite made for a single mom artist. So I went back to school. I became a teacher. So I've been teaching full time for maybe 7 years. And I think I was a gym teacher the first year. Then I taught kindergarten for about 4 or 5 years. And then this year, because it's COVID, and I'm partly deaf, like I can't hear very well. So I need to see faces. I need to see lips, even with my hearing aids, you know.
Mhm.
So I realized at the beginning of this school year, the past school year, as I was teaching grade 4 English, that I couldn't hear what they were saying at all. I was having them read things and I couldn't tell if they could read. So I told, my school board, I said, I think I need to be online, at least with the earphones, and I can, because I
You
can't
need to be
teach it.
able to see the
So they
mouths
gave
too,
me
right?
this, sorry,
Well, I was saying
they,
it's you need to see their mouths as well, right?
yes, yeah. So I was sort of thrown in a class of grade 7, 8,
Oh
which,
wow, that's a
yeah,
change.
so it was rock and roll. My first few months with them, I don't know if they could feel it, but I was studying hard every night, every morning, really early, relearning all my math and science and et cetera, et cetera. And then I love as an artist, I taught as a teacher artist. So I love to teach through projects and
Mhm.
creative projects. And I think it's the best way to learn for kids is to actually do something engaging with the material you're learning, that you're not just learning it
Absolutely.
for a test and then it's gone. So I had planned, because the grade 8 curriculum, you learn all about the 1800s with John A. Macdonald and what happened to the Indigenous people when they were put on the
Mhm.
reserves and etc. And also with the grade 7, it's all about natural resources around the world. And I've been kind of really interested and quite impassioned with water. And I actually got a membership with the NFB, so we watched some great films with my class on residential schools and water, and many. Oh, Shannon's Dream about Native communities not having their local schools.
So this was
So
like
my plan was,
oh sorry, I was
sorry.
just saying. So you were sort of like educating them about these issues through like film.
Yes,
That's so great.
yes, yes. Yeah, and there's such great films by Alanis I'm not going to say her name right. Obamsawin, an Abenaki from Quebec who makes great films on the NFB, and it was a great way for me and my kids to learn. My students.
Mhm.
So my plan was they're going to do their projects, their researches, and then we present the projects online. And at the end of it all, realizing that there's still all these kids in these First Nations communities who don't have access to clean water or local high schools. I decided with this campaign, it's better to just focus on one thing. So I
Mhm.
went with the water, but because we also watched Shannon's Dream, who's a young girl from Attawapiskat, leading a campaign to get high schools into the communities so that they didn't have to leave home anymore, the kids. And my goal was, okay, at the end of it all, I'm going to have them write a letter, which goes into, the English, French curriculum of writing a letter. Um, and just before so they did their projects, they were great. They're smart kids, interesting. And then at the end of it all, it was time to write the letter. But just before we got to that, that tomb in Kamloops was discovered. And I remember that night going, whoa, okay, we're going to have to talk about that. And how do we talk about that? It's such a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was online and I've been following Cindy Blackstock, who's an amazing activist for Indigenous children's rights. And she had posted a tweet with resources for educators on how to
Okay.
talk about this with their kids. So I found this little piece of writing. I think it was entitled Imagine, and it was, imagine if, all the things that the Indigenous children went through throughout our history. And so we read the piece together as a class. And at the end of the piece, it just sort of came to me like, okay, you're going to write your letter and you're going to start with, I can't imagine. And you're going to start your letter with that. And you're going to end your letter with, please, your government, give all First Nations children clean water. With my class, I also said, and local schools. So they talk about education in schools too.
Mhm.
And so, and I actually, I wanted it to come from their heart. It became like it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be a marked assignment, because I mean, it's a very personal thing. And so it was just you write in English or in French, and you write from your heart. There's no guidelines, there's no, it's not marked. And about 3/4 of the class wrote a letter, and it was so from the heart. It was so intelligent. It was so touching. It was so strong, that at that point I couldn't just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You can't, I don't know, go through such an adventure, such a journey, and then just drop it. And I think also because COVID, and I had this kidney stone for the last 2 months of,
No.
the school year, and I couldn't move at all. I was in pain, and that after that, I was like, oh, I need a really long walk. And then I was like, I'm gonna walk to Ottawa with my students' letters. And then I thought that's gonna be a bit long. So then I thought I'm gonna bike to Ottawa with my
There you
kids'
go.
letters. And I
Amazing.
told that to a few friends, and those few friends, it just everyone I told the idea, was so supportive and enthusiastic, and like, yes, what can we do? What do
Yeah.
you need? There's right away there were sponsors. Right away it was like, here's a
Amazing.
bike and here's a trailer and here's like everybody was so supportive that I sort of then had to bike to Ottawa with students' letters. And then I was like, well, then we're going to get more letters from all the kids and create a buzz, and maybe we can actually create change with these kids' voices. So
So are
that's
you
that's
collecting letters now from other children apart from your students?
yes,
And how can
yes. And
people
so
deliver their letters to you?
so I think the baskets are filling up quite nicely. I know Horses Atelier is getting quite a few letters. I know some people have dropped off at Sweet Pete's Bike Shop. I actually don't
Nice.
know if there are many or any letters at the Float Center in Toronto, but those are the 3 places in Toronto where people can drop them off. And it's so Toronto letters are coming in, and it's great. Ottawa, we
Wonderful.
have a drop-off place now. And Regine, one of the owners of that boutique, has created quite a stir and reached out. So people are really participating in Ottawa, which is great. I've had a group of cyclists from London, Ontario, contacting me and said, we want to do something here. So they're collecting letters in London,
No
and they're going to
way.
bike them to me in Toronto the morning I leave on Monday.
Wow.
And they're actually going to bike with me, I think, till Oshawa, they said.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
yeah, because I guess I have this vision. I still have the vision of having people sort of join me on the path and biking with me for a little bit and giving me letters along the way. But now the question mark where, I'm still trusting it's going to happen because I think the cause is great and people want to support and help, is the collection of letters like in Oshawa and Cobourg and Prince Edward County and Kingston and Smith Falls. Like I'm having trouble. I don't know anyone there, so my connections are limited. But if anyone's listening right now,
Yes,
and if you
hopefully.
want to help,
Yeah, we'd
yeah.
love to. We want to spread the word. And what are you going to do when you arrive? What is your plan when you arrive in Ottawa? Are you going to read them? Are you going to perform? Are
Yeah,
you going to?
my plan when I arrive on Parliament Hill, I still don't know if I need to alert security, but what I want to do is to just sit on the hill. My uncle Peter, who lives in Ottawa, is also partly musician, so he's got a little speaker with a mic that he's going to bring to me there, and I'm going to sit there with the pile of letters, and I'm just going to read them one by one till someone says, okay, we'll give them water right now.
Oh, amazing. This is, and it's such an important issue. Just because it's this kind of thing where so many, I think, Canadians are involved in organizations or working towards like supplying water or schools to other countries, which is also wonderful. But it's like, I think it's for a lot of people only within like the last few months or like the summer and since the discovery of the graves that this sort of issue has been thrown at the forefront that like children here don't have this. So
Yeah,
it's like
and
wonderful
it's
that you as an individual are like, what can I do? And how can I involve kids in this? It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, and I think kids' voices, they're powerful because us as adults have gotten used to the atrocities, to the big injustices that are occurring, and we feel powerless. And
Mm-hmm.
so we sort of continue, and our lives are busy, and we have all these things to do, and it's like, what can we do? But kids, like, they can't imagine, and that's the
Right.
name of the campaign. But they're not used to it. They really like go, but why, Madame? Like, I don't understand why they don't have water.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
such a rich country with so much water.
Exactly. And I wonder, I didn't ask you this before, but do you by any chance have one of those letters handy that you could like read to us something?
Um,
I should
yeah.
have prepared you for this.
Wait, I can walk here.
Yeah, go for it.
I actually just took one out of my. Now you're going to see my messy house. I just took one out of my purse this morning because I went for dinner at a friend's place the other night, and her daughter gave me her letter.
Oh, wonderful.
It's in French. It's in
Hmm.
French. It's from Noémie, and she's going in grade 8 or just finished grade 8. I can't
Okay.
remember. I'll read her letter.
Yes, please.
So, cher gouvernement, je ne peux pas imaginer de ne pas pouvoir avoir une bouteille remplie d'eau froide agréable pendant une longue balade de vélo. Je ne peux pas imaginer de ne pas boire de l'eau quand j'ai soif. Nous avons tous besoin d'eau. Cher gouvernement, s'il vous plaît, donnez de l'eau potable à tous les enfants des Premières Nations. Noémie, 8e année. So the middle school students have been writing great letters, but also I don't have them with me because they're all in the baskets around town, but there's like some great letters coming in from younger children who are also drawing on the letters and really putting their hearts into them.
Are you going to, Tamar, who is my co-host, is wondering if you're going to live stream any of this? Like maybe when you're there reading the letters, if there'll be some way that we could see it.
I'm going to learn how to do that, Leah. I'm going to.
Oh,
I was like a total anti-social media until I started this. So I'm
I
learning
know.
so much about using Instagram and Facebook, and it causes me a bit of anxiety, all this social media, but I am learning.
You are learning.
I
You're doing
will.
well.
I totally want to find a way to live stream.
You know
Maybe
what?
later you can tell me how.
Yeah, we maybe after this interview we can give you a quick lesson. I also think so. When are
Yeah.
you leaving? Because I think it would be great if I think David is going to be coming down to take some photos, and maybe we can come down and live stream it ourselves. When are you leaving?
That would be amazing. So I'm leaving Monday morning, the 16th, at
Okay.
10 in the morning from Trinity Bellwood Park at the
It's
Big
down,
Arch on Queen
it's down
Street.
the street from it's 2 blocks from my house. I'll be
Oh,
there.
well then. Perfect. You can come in your PJs.
So where can people, how can people follow you, or how can people contribute, or what can people do to get involved in this?
So, so you can, I guess I'm the most active on Instagram. I think it's
Hmm.
the platform I feel, I don't know, feel the best with.
Yeah.
Facebook, we have a Facebook page, we have a Facebook, what do you call it, account, a
Yep.
Facebook
Agree.
group.
Yep.
So you can come. The Facebook group is private, but if you ask to join, we'll let you join. The Facebook page, anybody can look at it. And I also created a website. It's
Okay.
sharegovernment.com.
Perfect.
And I have an email. Well, on the website, you'll get all the links if you go to sharegovernment.com. Can I
I'm
write it
adding
here
you.
in the comment?
Yeah, I
Like
think
if
I
I
agree.
write share.
I got it here.
Oh, you got it?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that it?
So on there, there's all the links that, and you can, and I also tried, I haven't put as many educational resources as I'd like to, but also what I should mention is that what I hope for is that my arrival on Parliament Hill is just the beginning. We're going to enter a school year, and what
Hmm.
I'm hoping is that teachers will want to participate and use
Oh,
this
yeah.
movement as a means of projects and learning avenues for their kids, to have all the kids in all the schools write letters to the government. And the idea, because I'm like, okay, how do we do this? I'm not going to bike the letters to Ottawa all the time. But I was thinking that maybe a class a class trip could be a bike ride to their MPP's office. And
Oh
then the
my
kids
gosh. This
could,
is so
that's the
good.
idea I have right now, but then that the kids can read their own letters in front of all the MPP's office across Canada.
I
Um,
feel like this could
until
happen. I feel like
I
this could
think
happen.
it,
I think you could get some big media coverage for this. I think, and I feel like people want to do something, and I'm sure teachers are
yes,
looking for real ways to have an impact and to educate students, but to also like give them a voice. And I think that it's so
yeah,
wonderful that you've just imagined this beautiful way of doing it. It's
yeah.
wonderful.
I think it's, I think, I just really believe also, like, if we go on the, as a teacher, on the educational angle, I think for kids, the best way to learn is to just engage, like to have them look at the world around them and ask questions, and then find answers to their questions. And then if they find things they don't like, to change them. I mean, that those are the citizens that we hope
Exactly.
for the future.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, I think we will be able to like continue to support you, and will spread the word in every way that we can. And I'll definitely we'll come on Monday and do a little live stream of your departure. That would be wonderful. And if
Thank
you
you.
and we're also going to add your website to our website at sorry, FabCollab.ca.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just we think it's wonderful what you're doing. We really want to spread the word. And so Monday morning you'll be taking off. And when are you expecting to arrive?
So I plan to arrive in Ottawa on Parliament Hill on the 25th.
Okay.
But it could be the 26th in case I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
know,
see.
in case I get really tired one day. Because, I'm not like a professional cyclist like other people are, but I've been, I've been trying to get in shape. So it should be
Training.
okay.
Amazing. Well, we want to wish you all the best of luck, and thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story here with us. And we'll be directing all of our viewers for our different programs towards this. And we'll see you there on Monday. And thank you so much. Everybody visit sharegovernment.com to follow Marie-Josée's journey. I think it's wonderful. And before we go, I just want to say we'll be back next week with the flamenco flautist Lara Wong, the first foreigner to ever win the Spanish flamenco competition, the Cante de las Minas. So we're very excited to have
Ooh,
her. So thank you so much.
nice.
Uh,
Thank you, Leah. Thank you very much. It was a great talk.
and we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you. Yay. Enjoy the Gatineaus.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye,
Bye. Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.